Wow, it finally happened.
It finally happened.
Live from New York City.
Live from Roswell, Georgia.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What's on your mind, James?
I keep getting these YouTube ads for gosh, and now I'm forgetting the words. It's astrology, but like the local astrology. It's like these are the three
Okay.
places in the world where you will only feel perfectly at home. Three places in the world.
That is great. I've never heard of that, but that's fantastic.
And they have two different older white men speaking not quite in unison, but like almost in unison. And and honestly, I can't figure out why I'm getting targeted for these ads. And like, there's certain ones that I get. Like, I'm like, look, not for me, but I get. But this one, I'm like, what has you? And then I'm fascinated by them. Like, I can't stop watching. I have clicked. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I
no,
couldn't
as
figure
you
out.
should.
I couldn't figure out what I could buy because there's a price that's low enough where I would pay $3 for them to tell me, like the three places they feel like I'm gonna feel at home.
Oh
You
shit!
know,
They don't tell you any of the places for free. They're not giving you a freebie on it.
I on my phone I couldn't get that far. I'm like scrolling. I'm like, what do I do with this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
information? You know?
Because I feel like the real monetization should be getting people to go to places and then whatever, go to a local restaurant. Like basically, like they should give me the location for free and then give me a voucher for like a coffee shop in that town. Like that's the
Oh,
that's the move, no?
I like this.
I didn't know this existed. This is kind of fun. Also, just get me out the house, get me to do something new.
Exactly, exactly.
I
Go
I,
on a
I really
trip,
support
right?
this. I really support this.
It reminded me. So there's two things it reminds me of. One is once upon a time I was exploring video ads on the internet, and we were talking to all these like B2B advertisers or SMB advertisers, and they all were like complaining. But then I talked to the guy who does Ty Lopez's ads. Who's Ty
Okay.
Lopez is like a internet grifter. Don't at me, Ty. Like you're the man. And I can't remember if I was talking to Ty or Ty's guy, right? Like one of the two. But we were talking about, most video ads at the time they were saying like less than 30 seconds or less than 10 seconds was like best performance.
Mm,
And this guy was like, no, 100% wrong. We want to have like 45 or 50-minute ads. Anyone who only pays attention for 2 minutes is never going to never going to purchase.
interesting.
And what I realized is that these guys were not looking. Everyone else that I had talked to was trying to like sell you like I don't know a swimsuit or some sandals or like whatever. They just And this guy was trying to. He was recruiting people. They needed recruits.
So the filter has to be much
So
higher.
it's like he
Interesting.
really does want somebody who's going to sit there and watch for 45 minutes because you're not going to like pay thousands and dollars for courses unless you believe that this can change your life. It's a like. Anyway, it's always stuck with me.
That's very good. I was once told that the most effective copywriting is just like way longer than you think. I mean, this used to be like the consensus on landing pages as well, that like you think you want a quick, snappy landing page, but you actually want a very, very long set of essays. Um, yeah, that's interesting though. Like, do you think it is just a selection effect? Like you just want to choose the people who are willing to put up with a lot and then they will buy? I'm not sure I
I
really.
don't know. I don't know. I did get it. I got another ad recently that was, and actually, I should have found a way to send it to you because it reminded me of your favorite New York Times article about writing with mystery.
Oh yeah, I
He
love
did
that piece.
such a good job. 10 out of 10 work. 10 out of 10 work. Because he was like, um, it's like the hot new investing trend, and it isn't AI, and it isn't crypto, and it isn't, and he had some quote that was like, this is going to be bigger than whatever. And
Hmm.
he kept making you think that if you listened for one more sentence, you would find out what it was. And it went on and on. And then at some point, I'm listening because I'm just like, all right, well, like I've invested 4 minutes into
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
And I still don't know what it was. I
yeah.
think it was Fusion. Like, I'm not totally sure. But anyway,
Well, that's cool.
yeah.
Um,
What are you working on?
yeah.
How's the
All
game?
right. The game, yeah, the game's very good. I'm working on the game all the time. All I think about is board games. It's a fascinating product experience. Like you're designing a product where people will not read the instructions, and you need them to open the box and do the right thing just based on the layout of the material. I find that fascinating as a problem to solve.
Yeah.
You're like trying to go from inside your brain via nothing to inside the other person's brain. Um, and yeah, I'm sure like many product design questions are like that, but I've never dealt with it so intensely and immediately.
I feel targeted because, I was the person who was like, I can't read these instructions. It's too much.
No one reads the instructions. Absolutely no one. I can tell you this because I've done lots of playtests, some with friends. I've paid some people to playtest a game. Even people who are being paid to playtest the game will not read the instructions for a game.
What?
It just is like it just goes deeply against human nature to read the piece of paper.
I wonder if there's a way to turn reading the instructions into part of the game. Like
Yeah.
the problem with it. So it's like the people that would turn in their investment thesis and they'd be like, if you read this far, I'll send you $100.
Right, right,
I
right.
did this with a PRD once
Uh-huh.
at Google, and I had an engineering manager ping me and be like, "Can I have my $10 now?" Or whatever. But only one,
Only
right?
one.
Oh yeah.
Only one. Yeah, yeah. I knew it.
So I think there should be an Easter egg in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's like the
interesting. I
secret
made
menu.
videos. I made like video instructions. It'll be interesting to see if anyone is willing to scan a QR code in order to see some videos in order to learn from that. This could be just a written word problem. I think the real solution is having as much as possible, having the instructions on the cards. But then the problem is how do you make sure people pick up the cards in the right order? Like I'm just very jealous right now of video game developers who can like artificially construct a tutorial level. And like I've made a tutorial, but I don't know how to force people to play the tutorial before anything else. But it's very interesting. My
Don't you
new
feel like
idea,
the
and I
people? Oh,
yeah,
go ahead. Go go go.
I just don't know if this is possible, but the cards come in plastic wrap. And I'm going to ask the manufacturer if next time they can put something on the plastic wrap that says open this first, like these cards first or something. Because then you could make people open one part without the other, without having to just like uglily write, this is the beginner cards on every single beginner card, which I have been trying to avoid. Yeah.
The unbox, yeah, the packaging has to be your thing that like forces you, like you open it and then there's a da 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 da.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. There's also some interesting visual stuff. So I have like 3 levels of cards in this game, and um, I've made it so that the beginner cards have like the sparsest background, and the medium cards have the mediumest background, and the advanced cards have like the fullest background. And I think subconsciously people will associate. Like I think if you made people guess which of these cards is beginner, they'll know just by design. Though I should test that as well
You
empirically. Yeah.
definitely should. I can't tell if this is
Yeah.
gonna be genius or way too subtle.
I mean, presumably I'm wrong because that's usually how it is, but I find it funny.
Do you
Yeah.
ever try to benefit off of the baseline assumption that you're usually wrong? Like to take your instinct and to like go in the opposite direction?
No, because there's too many ways to be wrong. Like I'm usually wrong, but if I just did the opposite, I would also be wrong. There's one way to be right and 99 ways to be wrong. That's the secret. Yeah.
I've long felt this could be a blog post of yours. I've long felt that I am like the tipping point for like things where they move from being niche into the mainstream. Like basically
Uh-huh.
the
Uh-huh.
moment that I have found your thing, it is no longer niche and cool. It is mainstream. But now that
Mainstream.
I'm articulating this, I'm like most people probably feel that way for most things, right? Like you know what I mean? Right? Because you've got all these things in the world, right? And all of them are
Right,
moving
right, right, right,
from
right,
from
right.
niche to mainstream, right? And so presumably for the median thing, you are like the median, like you are
Yes,
more,
yes, 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 yes. And if you know about it, it's way more popular than you realized. Like you
yeah,
think you're
yeah,
into
yeah.
something niche, but actually, yeah.
Anyway, so this
Yeah.
takes out like a core part of my personality.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's
Oh,
okay.
it's
I'm fine.
terrible.
I'm fine.
I had this realization once when talking about this book called Around Ireland with a Fridge, which was a book I read as a teenager that I thought was like this bizarre, weird, obscure thing. And I talked about it in a group of like 6 people, and 3 of them had read it. And at first I was like, what's the chances? And then I was like, no, actually, like, especially as a teenager, like if I had heard of it, it must have been, more successful than I realized or more prevalent.
I've never heard of
Yeah.
it.
We're all
It
more
just
normal
became
than we
mainstream right now.
think. Yeah, this was the moment.
July
20
16th.
years later. Wow. If they suddenly get a spike in sales, I hope they appreciate this. Yeah.
Yeah, come find
Mm.
us. We will sponsor you. I actually, anytime I think about what I want to talk about on like socially and podcasts or YouTube, it's almost always books. I basically just want to
Interesting.
sit around and talk about books.
Tell me about books.
I'm reading Middlemarch, like everyone else.
Hey, I just read Middlemarch like 3 or 4 months ago, huh?
Yeah, well, you read it
You
when the
really
cool
are.
people read it. I have kids, and so I'm, you know, it's really
Um,
good. It's
what do
really
you think of
good.
it? Yeah,
I'm
tell me more.
83, 84% of the way in. Shout out to Kendall. Um,
Ooh.
I love it. I'm terrified. It's like made me look into my soul a couple times and be like, am I more like this character that I want to
Whoa,
be?
no. Oh no.
Um, which probably says more about me than anything else. But uh,
No. That speaks
I
well of. I felt it with the guy who's a coward. I forgot his name already. Ah, should we do no spoilers? There's a character who
no
ultimately.
spoilers are it's spoilers. We're
Oh, sure,
if
sure.
you're here
Who's
and you're watching, take your own risk.
spoilers
Spoilers.
for a 200-year-old novel? I forget. No,
Yeah, exactly.
1850? 150.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically 200.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay, so there's a doctor in it who kind of, I think, could have done interesting big things, and I think that his key flaw is just being kind of a coward when it counts, like just not being willing to rock the boat. There's, other things
Lydgate?
going on. Lydgate, yeah, that's
Lidgate,
the fella.
Lidgate, yeah, yeah. I don't.
I don't know how
All of
you
these
say
names are
anything.
pronounced in my head in the way that, like,
Yeah,
it's got key,
as that's how it's meant to
head
be. Yeah, yeah.
pronunciation voice. Yeah, yeah.
So
I
I
feel
remember
bad for him.
feeling
I feel
more
bad for
like
him.
him than I felt that way with him a bit. Like, oh no, am I a Lydgate? You gave up your dreams, man. Who do you? Well, you don't have to say. I mean,
No, no, Casabon, Casabon, or like Dor.
no,
Yeah, yeah,
no.
yeah. I think his like the way that he's always like in the future, everyone will see how great I like, and he's
Interesting,
always like
interesting,
pushing it
interesting.
out. And I feel like there's a lack of courage there too, where it's like he should be, like sharing his
Living.
stuff.
Yeah,
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 and
yeah,
living.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Interesting. That seems pretty great. I mean, like this novel's pretty good if it can make us worry about how we're living. That seems like.
I got
Um,
so sad when Fred, like, like the loan that couldn't repay. I
oh,
I was just I was wrecked over the education of a fictional child.
oh no. Yeah, yeah. I did really get mad at Fred. Yeah, that's very aggravating. He also, I didn't identify with him, but I have met people who I identify with him, and they all piss me off, and I'm really like,
Mm,
come on,
mm,
Fred, you entitled jerk.
mm.
Interesting. I had a weird experience with this book, which is it was the first time I tried to read a book with like an AI companion. Like I sat
Mm.
there with ChatGPT asking it stuff, and I was mainly trying to do this for like the historical context. I was like, this is the perfect book to do this for because I don't know what the, you know, uh, land reform of 1853 or whatever it is that's a big deal in the book is. Anyway, I asked ChatGPT a bunch of stuff, and it gave me a bunch of spoilers for the book, which were incorrect. Like it confidently told me major plot points that were not true. For example, that Kazibon gets rejected for the bishopric or whatever. Like he's trying to become a bishop, and it was like, oh, like after Kazibon gets rejected as a bishop, something. I'm like, this doesn't end up happening. But in a way, this made like all the suspense in the book better because all the things I was confident were going to happen just didn't happen, and often the literal opposite thing happened instead.
My
Bananas.
I think that this is the next frontier of entertainment. So my favorite film watching experience of all time was Breakfast at Tiffany's,
Okay.
because this is in the cable era, and I come downstairs and I turn on the TV, and Breakfast at Tiffany's is already on. I don't know the movie. I'm like 16 at this point. I don't know where I am in the movie. I don't know what's happened, right? And it turned out that I was like 7 minutes or 8 minutes in. But I watched every single moment of that movie as if it could end at any point in time, right? Like, and it might just be over, and I'm trying to like construct this narrative, right? And it's like
Yes.
going and going and going, and I'm like, who knows how far this, every commercial break it could be it, right? Like, uh and it really added something. It stuck. It stuck with me. I don't know how people rate that movie. I get the feeling that it's not in the like top 10. But it was thrilling. The Prestige. The Prestige was the same way. I came in. A bunch of people in my hall were watching it, and I came in. I had like taken a nap on like a Friday night, which was 100% my move in college, was to take like a
Ah, yeah.
7 p.m. nap. And I came in, and they were already watching the movie, and you know I missed a couple of key plot points, but actually not that much, and just.
No, this is obviously correct. I think all books should come with a random number of blank pages at the end, so you can't tell where you are relative to the finish. Like there's just meta spoilers everywhere based on.
And a ChatGPT guide to just send you in the wrong direction.
Yeah, to tell you other things. Yeah, yeah. Basically, I just endorse this highly. Yeah,
For
saying like
whatever
Netflix
reason,
should
when
have a
I
scroller that like hides how much you have left, or like just changes it slightly. Like even being unsure if it's like 10 or 20 or 30 minutes left would change how you experience these things.
totally,
Yeah,
totally,
yeah,
just unmoor you just a little bit.
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. What are you saying?
No, it's gone. It,
Uh, um, yeah, I think a lot about meta spoilers. There's some things that just knowing it has a spoiler is a spoiler. So like a really good movie with a twist, you don't want to know that there is a twist, because if you know there's a twist, you're anticipating the twist, etc. So like I feel like the best way to go into most media consumption is completely blind. Like what I really want is someone I really, really trust to be like, you personally should read this book or watch this movie, and I will tell you nothing more about it. And that is like it's hard to
I think
achieve.
misdirection's the way to go. I think misdirection. I think you've
Blind
subtly
people.
discovered it via ChatGPT. Like, because you're like, when is he going to become a bishop? When is he going to try to become a bishop? Right?
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, maybe we can do this.
We're pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just feel like you could have a browser plugin that just kind of is like with Game of Thrones for a little while when people were like, that was the last time I allowed myself to care about spoilers, and
Yeah.
you know, at this point I'm like, spoilers are gonna happen. There's just not, you can't avoid them.
I've been watching The Chosen, which is like a series about the life of Jesus, and that's got this like incredible anti-spoileriness or meta-spoileriness or whatever. You know, like they'll have an episode where they introduce this new character, and halfway through I'm like, it's kind of suspicious. No one's like said his name yet. And at the very end of the episode, he's like, hey, my name is Judas Iscariot. And you're like, everyone knows. The audience knows. But Jesus doesn't know. It's just really great. Really, yeah.
I mean, theologically, some would argue that Jesus knew.
Oh, sorry. Yes. The other disciples don't know.
Yeah.
Is that true? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's been a while since I watched something where like the writers know that the audience knows the major events upcoming beforehand, and they can like write towards that, and that's really well done.
Talk about a tough writer's room, right?
Tell me about it. I don't know how this series came to be. It's kind of fascinating.
Are you kidding? I just always assume that there's an endless, because like, okay, I'm because I'm saying this publicly on the internet. It's important to understand that I say this with love, and I come from the category of which I'm about to speak. But you know, growing up in the church and in like Christian America, I was given some media that just frankly was not that good, that got purchased because it was Christian media. And so I sort of assume that there's just this like, not never ending money pit, but like, look, there is a market for this stuff. And so if it's even like approaching quality, it's gonna, so I just it's sort of, it's always surprised me that there's not like more of it, right? Like,
oh, interesting. I did not come from this world and did not know it. I found this because it was like the #2 most watched show on Amazon, and I think it's transcended religious media to just become media. or maybe descended, depending on your view of which
No,
direction
no.
is up
I
there. But
think
yeah,
I think there's
yeah.
there's. I mean, I think the challenge, the place where this goes awry is that sometimes, like there, I do think there's an audience that kind of know there are boundaries that the Christian audience does not want you to go beyond.
Hmm.
But I also think there's just a lot of baseline built-in interest. I mean, like what was the Mel Gibson made the movie? It was like
Yeah.
really bloody.
Passion of the Christ. Was it
Yeah,
called Passion?
I
Yeah.
got taken to see this. In fact, I think my gosh, I was so annoying about the movie Jurassic Park when I was 7. I wanted to see the dinosaurs so bad. They're still behind me, the dinosaurs.
Hey, you
I
made it.
annoyed my mom so much about this that she was like, "You are never seeing a PG-13 movie until you are 13 years old." And then gosh, my poor mom. This is on the internet now. She then she made me live with this throughout my entire childhood. So I didn't see a PG-13 movie until I was 13. I didn't see an R-rated movie until I was 17. But I got
Wow.
taken to see The Passion of the Christ. Like, you know, I think someone bought tickets opening night. I mean, this and Harry Potter were like event.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
so anyway, more Christian media.
I never saw it, but my rabbi did and said he was the only person in the cinema who understood the Aramaic. He was like having a great time. It's like,
Was the Aramaic any good?
I don't know. I mean, I don't remember. This is many, many years ago.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he was just like, yeah, we had to learn Aramaic in, I guess, rabbinical school or whatever. And finally it came in useful in the pop culture. That seemed, yeah,
There we
seems fun.
go. There we go.
Um, yeah. Do you think learning languages is about to become obsolete?
I don't. I don't.
Say more or less. I mean, it's up to you. Say any amount of your choosing.
I just think there are certain things that being able to do reflexively, like, never gets old.
Hmm.
If anything, I think it might become more common because
Interesting.
the easier that it is to talk to somebody across different languages, the easier it is to. Who's the guy? He was a New York Times columnist and a linguist, and he was on
John
a.
McWhorter.
Yes. And he was like, someone asked him how to learn a language, and he was like, find someone you want to have sex with that
Yeah,
speaks
yeah.
that language, right? And it's like,
Classic.
I think that's the way that I think that's the way this works. The more people, put it this way, just speaking from my experience programming, where having somebody who can program for me has
Hmm.
taught me more about programming than I learned not like when I couldn't do it by myself.
Hmm.
And now
Hmm. Hmm.
I think there'll be a similar effect where it's like, if you can speak quasi seamlessly with a German person, it increases the likelihood that you'll actually just want to know what it feels like to be at the beer hall speaking in
Sure,
German,
sure,
right? Yeah.
sure, sure. I think the technology breaks the symmetry that used to exist, where like in order to speak this language, I had to have someone to speak it with.
Mm.
Both in the fact that like I can practice at home and on my own more effectively now, but also like you could imagine that I could go somewhere, um, yeah, like I could be listening to them in their language and speaking in my language, or
Hmm.
I could speak a broken version of the language and have some technology fix it for, like they could process it on their end to get like a clearer idea of what I was trying to say.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, maybe
I
this is
also
just like
think
a
I
big
mean
leap.
I'm a like a Duolingo. I do Duolingo basically every day. But I
Whoa.
do think that the
Basically every day. That's a man
yeah.
whose streak has been broken by
No,
the
they give you the
incidents.
fake. They give you the like
Oh,
the
really?
streak recoveries, and I've
Mm.
at this point accepted that, in part because one of the days we had a baby, I like had a streak broken because I didn't have service or something, but I did it, but like then the times and I'm just like F that, man. I'm going
Yeah,
by
come
what
on.
if the app says the
Yeah,
streak is
yeah,
live,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
live, but I have these like streak freezes that have been used. But more days out of the past 5 years than not, I have done Duolingo. But it does feel like the next stage of this is going to be a little like, you're going to fire it up on your screen. I mean, maybe this is what I should build, and it speaks to you in that language, and it kind of progressively tests your knowledge and like builds you up. and then gives you like points for sticking with it.
Hmm. Yeah, my theoretical desire to learn more languages is so much stronger than my revealed preferences, which have been that since college, I don't think I've tried. Um,
What languages do you speak?
I speak English, Hebrew, Chinese, and Spanish.
Holy shit, that's so many.
Or I did at some point in my life. I mean, I guess if this is, for the sake of honesty, I should say that I have not tested most of these abilities recently, so I cannot swear how much of them remains.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
What are you gonna write about next? What's coming up on Atoms versus Bits? Also,
Oh,
amazing blog name. I don't know if I've ever told you this,
oh,
but
thanks. I mean, then in that case, I can tell you honestly that I voted against it. I voted- I wanted to call it Some Attempts, in the way that Michel de Montaigne wrote essays, which are attempts in French. So I wanted to call it Some Attempts, and my writing partner and general outstanding friend Jahan was like, no, we're calling it Atoms versus Bits. He already owned atvbt.com, which is one of the few remaining 5-letter whatever .com domain names. And he just thought it was a better name, and I capitulated. So I'm glad you like it. I mean, like I feel vindicated in my capitulation.
I would be intimidated to use Atoms versus Bits as a blog name because I feel like it's like if you're gonna name your child like Caesar, like,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like my daughter had a friend named Wolfgang, and
Oh
like
wow.
you got to be able to I mean, like, fortunately, this kid
Yeah,
is gonna be fine. Like, he's a head taller than every other child, and he's a redhead, and he is a bruiser, so he's gonna be fine. Like,
he's
Wolfie
got it.
is that, but like, if you're gonna be Wolfie, if you're gonna be like a 14-year-old named Wolfie, like that's a lot to carry, right? And Adams versus Bits is a lot to carry, so I hope you hope you feel good about that.
Yeah, I feel good about it, but largely, I mean, not through arrogance, but rather through obliviousness.
Yeah, a little
I
bit of
don't
both.
think
It
about the
takes a little
pressure.
bit of it. What's the difference?
Yeah, yeah. What is upcoming on Atoms versus Bits? Okay, let me find out. This is going to be a world exclusive. I'm going to see what's in the queue. Goodness me, it's been a while since I actually looked at what I had coming up. Can you fill time while I drum roll this? No, maybe I should just build tension. I know it's something about the dynamics of social experience. All right, likely upcoming on Adams versus Bits. Um, got a discussion of Twitter, Tumblr, Reddit. Okay, so my claim was I was trying to get off Twitter somewhat unsuccessfully. Spent a bit more time on Tumblr and Reddit. And I was thinking how on Facebook you only interact with people who are your actual named friends. Like you're basically interacting with the same people again and again. On Tumblr, you seem to largely interact. Like people seem to have like follower friend networks. On Twitter, you're interacting with somewhere in between friends and strangers. Like I think most people interact with the same accounts mostly, but also like random people will get tweeted into your feed and you can respond to strangers. And then Reddit is just like full on undifferentiated mass of people, right? Like on Reddit, like I don't know, I'm not in any subreddits. Maybe like people who are will have like a better sense of, oh, these are the people in my sub. But like I feel like on Reddit, I don't even read the usernames. Like I don't know who's saying a random thing. I'm just looking at this like realm of answers, and I felt like that was like a key differentiator between social networks that I feel like hasn't been talked about as much. Like I can imagine that that's like a bigger differentiator than real names versus pseudonyms. Yeah, I hadn't heard it discussed. Thoughts, comments, questions, concerns?
I can't wait. I I
No,
I
no, yeah.
almost I think the dynamics of social media in general are under discussed relative to its importance. So,
Right.
like the New York Times has a dumb headline, and like people talk about this for like a day, right? And then all of these like design decisions, many of which are not made intentionally. Like they someone somewhere very early on at a software company does something, and like, you know, it just that's the way that it is, right? And I people love to talk about A/B testing, but a lot of this stuff, if it changes the user's model of the site, you can't really A/B test it,
Right, 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 right.
and so it just is stuck. But I will say, when in the Reddit communities that have spent the most time in, at some point I've started to learn the handles of people that
Yes.
answer questions. Also, Reddit in general has at least the Reddit subreddits I spend time in have like really generous communities, whereas not all. I don't know. Tumblr. I never had friends on Tumblr.
No, Reddit seems great. I also, yes, I'm aware that I'm basically just looking at the front page and then ask Reddit, and that is not a representative sample of the Reddit experience. But yeah.
All right. I can't wait to see it.
James, yeah. Should we talk for 45 minutes? I feel like we've covered 30 minutes, therefore, successfully. Anyone who's still listening at this point.
If you like this, you better say so, because it will probably never happen again. So shout out to y'all. Is this anything? And there we go.
Is this a thing?